Thank you. Bringing those two themes together, the Red Book here on page 40 confirms defence spending is set to fall over the next 4 years. The current budget has been stretched by the requirement to cover cyber and space domains at the expense of the traditional services. So tanks, ships, planes and troop numbers are all now being cut. Would you agree, Prime Minister, that the integrated review is arguably out of date and we now need to look seriously at defence spending to be increased to 3%?
No, I must respectfully, I know you're a great authority on these matters, Mr. Ellwood, but I must respectfully dissent from you when you say that the integrated review is out of date, because I think what would be out of date would be to, first of all, we're spending record sums on defence, £24 billion to reform and renew our armed forces. 2.4%.
No, I know the numbers.
Yeah,
I know them well. But I'm trying to say that
what I'm saying to you is I disagree.
This is a peacetime budget,
I disagree
and
with
we've
you.
just confirmed that the threats are growing, and therefore we cannot manage. The budget is being reduced by 0.4%. I have it here in front of me in the Red Book. The point I'm trying to say is I'm simply inviting you to recognise the growing threats that are coming over the horizon and ask you to please recognise and reconsider where the integrated review now is and what we need to prepare for.
If you're saying, Mr. Ellwood, that you think we should go back and prepare for tank battles in...
no, you're putting words into my mouth.
I don't know but you're saying that you mentioned.
But you mentioned tanks.
On the European
we are
border.
Cutting back on our tanks. What is amassing on the Russian border right now, on the Ukrainian border? It's tanks, arguably enough.
Well,
but that's besides the point. I'm saying step back, look at the wider security picture, look at our defence posture, and see what needs to be done.
If you think that UK tanks are the answer, then
no. Now you're going down an avenue.
You're saying that we should commit UK tanks to the defence of Ukraine.
No. You deliberately. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry you're taking us down this rabbit hole, because you know perfectly well it's not about tanks.
I'm not taking you down a rabbit hole.
Tanks are one element of a wide spectrum of our defence capability.
You brought up tanks, Mr. Ellwood.
Tanks.
You brought up
aircraft.
Tanks.
48 aircraft, F-35s. You promised 138. You've cut back to 48. You cut back on not just tanks. Warriors have been removed completely. Hercules aircraft removed completely. And then 10,000 troopers have been removed. So we can talk about tanks, or we can talk about the wider spectrum of capabilities that have been reduced. At the very time I'm trying to make clear that there are bigger threats coming over the horizon.
Yes, Prime Minister. And I think what I'm trying to make clear is I think that it's now or never for the UK Armed Forces. We have to recognise that the old concepts of fighting big tank battles on the European landmass, which I think is what you're driving at, are over, and there are other better things that we should be investing in the FCAS, in the Future Combat Air System, in cyber. This is how warfare of the future is going to be fought in our advanced early warning systems, and that is where we need to be. I think that the investments that we are making,
you can't hold ground with cyber.
In new technology are absolutely indispensable to our ability to fight the wars of the 21st century. And I don't think that going back to a 1940s style approach will serve us well.
Mr. McNeill, Trade Committee Chair.
So you're an advocate, as we all know, of